And in the end of this section, the final speaker will be Professor Li Wen from Beihang University. His talk is about intelligent soft robots for environmental interaction.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks for the warm introduction, and thank you very much for organizing this wonderful event. I'm Li Wen from Beihang University. Today, I'm going to be talking about inspired multi-modal robots. This is a little bit different title because I proposed to the center. But so if we look deeply in nature, most animals, from caterpillars to the insects, and also to fish and birds, and then even the mammals, they exhibit multimodal locomotion. Let's look at an early prototype and the definition of a multimodal robots. So the Audex, implemented in 1983, so they can have 6 legs, they can walk, and manipulate. This is, to my knowledge, the first prototype that can perform so-called multimodal locomotion because they can manipulate and walk. And I also searched the literatures and I tried to find some called a term of the multimodal locomotion. So here's one paper in 2003 is combining multiple modes of locomotion on the same platform will allow robots to explore the most appropriate locomotion mechanism for the operating conditions. So I agree with this point, but I would refine this concept and also definition of the multimodal robots to a robotic system capable of employing and transitioning between multiple. So the number of multiple, I think the minimum of 2 modes of locomotion. So why do we study multimodal locomotions? Well, so in previous studies, people have tried to spend a lot of efforts to understand the basic principle of unimodal locomotion, flying, swimming, crawling. So they study the biomechanics, dynamics, and also neural control. And when we integrate diverse locomotion modes and combine them together, we can make more than one modes. But there are a lot of challenges regarding the design strategies, planning, and controls. So for example, if we have a good designs which can enhance the overall performance, at least this paper by Professor Dario, this paper published last year, you can see this is an elegant locomotion, the jump and the birds fly and also blind. All this motion transitions so smoothly because they understand the basic principle of the nature of solar. But also there could be some bad designs which will degrade the overall performance regarding its power, the speed, the mass, the stability, and also maneuverability. So this image down here is created by AI because I don't want to offend anyone. So let's put this to AI. So you can see this weird fixed wings with wheels and belts. Think about this kind of robots. They cannot be very efficient. So how do you create something a multimodal robots can surpass is, I think that's a very important topic. So today I will use 3 examples to show the bio-inspired design, the planning and the control, and finally real-world experiments about the multimodal robots. So first example is inspired by a underwater animal. So this animal is called remora suckerfish. The remora suckerfish can hitchhike to a number of marine animals, including the sharks, the foxfishes, and even the human divers. Because it has a very unique adhesive disc located on the dorsal side of this disc. It's called a suction cup, which can generate enormous pull force and the shear force to overcome the coming flow. If we have a micro CT scan of the remora disc, we can see that it contains a bony structure represented by the white color and also the flesh represented by the red color. So it's a hybrid. So combining both the rigid and softer tissue and also have a hierarchical structures. So we reconstruct these structures. We can see the remora disc, the bony structure contains rows of MLAs, and on each one of them MLA, they have rows of spinels, which is about 200 microns in height and 100 microns in diameter. So very small structure. And we found that the mammalian structure is not static. They have the erector muscle to pull it up and also have a depressive muscle to pull it down to generate rotatory locomotion. So this is the animation made by science to cover this kind of structure. You can see the spinous can engage with the surface when it contacts and also release the engagement to change the friction force. And also another feature is the remora disc can generate redundant adhesion. You can see that when you attach to a plexiglass shedding with lights, the disc can form separate independent suction cup. That means even you use part of the disc to attach to a surface, like the right down panel, you can see the half of the disc can attach to a gargoyle and yourself. Understanding these features, we fabricate a multi-material disc, which stiffness ranging from soft to rigid, spans 5 orders of magnitudes in terms of stiffness. And also we use a carbon fiber board to cut like over 200 gigapascal spinels, which is very similar to the electrical counterparts. And then we add in soft actors on the bite side. So this is a movie showing that remora on the left is biological locomotion of the inside. And on the right side, you can see the waveform of the remora disc. This is a biomimetic. The spaniel is helped by Kevin Chen from MIT. And we can see that for a single disc, its pull force can be over 340 times of its own weight, and also can generate its shear force and tunable shear force. So how do you make a model? So in 2017, I just made a very simple prototype that combines engineering underwater vehicle with a disc so that the robot can swim and attach to surface from smooth to soft and rough surface. But this motion, I don't think this is a very good multimodal robot. Because if you look at the high-speed videos of the live remoras, we took the frame in the lab, you can see the remora can swim and attach. They can detach and swim and then flip, yawing, pitching, and even rolling and twisting its body. So it's very flexible. That's why we decided to step deeper in this animal to understand its morphological structure. So this is a micro CT scan of the flexible neck. After we scan the whole remora, what's interesting here, you can see that neck vertebrates even take half portion of the disc itself. This is a very unique with other fish. So we implemented biomimetic device here using a lot of origami structures to make it flexible. And here we can see that this structure can generate a pitch, yawing, also enables attach and detach. And the down row here, you can see that this is a mimetic prototypes that can be implemented to the robot that connects the body and the disc. So there's a lot of the data, I didn't go to the details, but we can see that we implemented the whole remora suckerfish. It can swing and pitch attachment, it can roll and attach, and then they can detach and swing. We also tested this performance in the pool, swimming pool. They can generate adhesive sliding and swimming, paddling, and attach. So by understanding the basic principle of the remoras, we think about how to surpass the nature. So remoras can swim in the water and attach, but it cannot fly in the sky. So that's why we think about why don't we just try to make an aerial aquatic hitchhiking robot? Think about remora. Sometimes they catch a dolphin jump out of water and then try to spin its body towards the remora, but a remora can stay firmly attached. So we attach this robot to aerial aquatic prototypes. We have scanned previous literatures. We think the transitional speed is real important. So that's why we made our prototype, which contains 8 rotors, as you can see from the movies. So this robot can generate high maneuverability. And also on the right video, you can see that it can swing following the figure 8, and also can execute a consecutive aerial aquatic locomotion. And when it swing to the target, it can fly out and attach to the bottom of the rock. So this shows aerial aquatic hitchhiking robot can perform multi-modal locomotion. And also we can use this robot to like pick an object on the water. And so we tested the robot in the mountain stream. You can see the robot jump out with a camera monitoring, and also we tested the robot in the oceanic environments. And so this is a recent paper we're going to publish, present in on IRIS. We also show that this robot will deploy, is able to deploy an adhesive disc on the water. And the challenge of this robot is how to make the aerial aquatic robots underwater maneuvering. So what is the control? So for more information, you can go to my student Austin Tian's talk on October 22nd. Second topic, I'm going to switch gears to flying adhesive crawling multimodal robots. After understanding the basic principle of adhesion, how to make a robot that can be more energy efficient. This is on the right panel is a path planning for unimodal robots. You can walk there. On the right, you may walk and then fly. So multiple factors, including the power, time, accuracy, needs to be considered. So we tested this. We studied this according to our prototype as multimodal robots. If you can see this video, this is a robot that uses 4 legs with suction cups that can upstream with a stream current of over 1.5 meters. So we started from unimodal robots to multimodal locomotion robots and understand how to overcome the diverse challenging environments. How to rationally plan the locomotion combining the both flying and crawling to improve the task efficiency. If you think about the power and time, that's a conflict. The crawling, adhesive crawling is about 22 volts, which is 45 times smaller than a hovering flight. So the challenge exists in the multimodal robots planning and control. So here we show that we can use environmental perception and modeling, and then generate the nodes, and we define the cost of functions. Finally, we use WPRM algorithm to do the path planning to search optimal multimodal path. So here's the results. We show that the weight the parameters can influence the robot's energy consumptions, time, and motion accuracy. So you can see that the robots can fly directly to the targets and fly and then move, and also they can fly and move with the combinations. So the results show that the combined flying and the crawling requires less power and enables more efficient achievement to the target. And the robots are also capable of utilizing different multimodal locomotion to achieve different targets, as shown here. And also we tested the multimodal locomotion in outdoor environments, including they can fly skiing on the ice surface and on the slopey surface there, and reorient the camera view. And so what about the performance of multimodal robots in the deep real-world environments? We want to find a very special environment. That's deep sea. Why we care about deep sea? And why do we study multimodal locomotion specifically? We want to make it smaller and even make the size bigger, because the deep sea environments, the hydrostatic pressure is pretty high, ranging from 10 megapascal to 110 megapascal. So the pressure at 10,000 meters is equivalent to an elephant standing on your fingernails. Think about this pressure as a huge pressure. And the environment is also low temperature and total darkness and corrosive property of the sea. So the traditional deep sea robot are always heavy and bulky and have limited mobility, and also cannot safely interact with softer body animals in the deep sea. So here's the traditional robots, and here's our robots. You can see the size difference between these two. How do we do it? So the first problem we want to solve is a miniature software actuator's performance. So the material properties, the hydrostatic property, the pressure will affect the Young's modulus of the silicon materials, which will increase drastically under high hydrostatic pressure. That means the software material could be very stiffened, in a deep sea. So that caused the performance of the actuators, if you made actuators from soft materials, which would decline with increased hydrostatic pressure. So there's one number addressed by Nature in 2021. The performance of the software actually reduced over 70%. So how we can solve the problem? Think about if we use biostable materials, biostable structures that could transition and perform snap through. And when your material becomes stiffer, that's good, which means that snap through motion of the biostable structure can be amplified by the increased hydrostatic pressure. That would turn negative sides into positive. And the results show that, yes, if we create a 16 grams actuator and put in the deep sea, and compare the performance with the atmospherical condition in the lab, the amplitude is even higher, given the same voltage and controls. So the actuation performance was lifted in the deep sea due to the biostable structural design. Based on this kind of software actuator, we're able to make a multi-model miniature-sized deep sea robot. So its fins and legs can be repurposed for swimming and crawling to save the space. So we don't need that many actuators. And also we use hydrostatic pressure compensation system to protect the electronics and protect all the actuators. So this is a robot with a size less than 50 centimeters with a weight of 2.7 kilograms. It can crawl and also it can swim and also can glide multiple locomotions. So we show that the robot can perform straight line swimming, they can turn in, they can make a figure eight, and also it can crawl on the basic sand. And also we can see that this until recently we solved the problem of the buoyancy control. We implemented phase changing material in to the robot. It can control its buoyancy. That means it can sink down and also can float up. For more information, you can refer to my students' Zhonghao's talk in October 21. That is tomorrow. So we tested this miniature robot's multimodal locomotion in the deep sea. Here's we can see the robot is able to gliding, swimming, and crawling in the deep sea. So this movie shows the performance in the Haima Sea, with the depth is around 1,300 meters. What's interesting is the robot can perform comparably in the deep sea and the laboratory atmospherical condition. I mean, in terms of crawling, swimming, and also swimming and gliding performance, which means that the performance of the robots won't decline in the deep sea extreme conditions. And then we go further. We tested the robots the robot has been deployed at various deep sea locations and depth, ranging from 1,000 meters, 3,000 meters, and to the Mariana Trench, which is more than 10,000 meters. So all the motion has been tested. So here, I first come to the conclusion. We have presented 3 examples demonstrating bio-inspired design, planning and control, and real-world experiments. But I think more comprehensive study and more studies are needed to better understand the scientific meaning of multimodal robots. And what's next? Regarding the bio-inspired design, integrating diverse locomotion into a single platform actually, I think, requires new design strategy. We also need to use come up with new metrics to define what's good in terms of physical properties and performance of the multimodal robots. Regarding the motion planning control, I also think that new methods should be developed for the multimodal robots to optimize its paths and motions with high efficiency and agilities. And also robots must be quickly transition between different locomotion modes. And finally, since I have 1 minute left, I think the software material and structure could be a very interesting approach. Why? If you think about the past multimodal soft robots, so according to actually the passive hybrid locomotive deformation, this kind of ship-like magnetic control software robot can perform multimodal robots. And also you can use active deformation like Jules's work. So that previous reporter has just showed. So these are all interesting approaches. And if you think about animals, we can use animals to generating this kind of octopus-inspired reach, catch and grasping objects, following this very specific trajectory. And what's interesting is it's a actuation wave is like a propagating from the bottom to the end. We need to embed intelligence into the software robot to enable the multimodal locomotion. So this is a centralized liquid metal electronic circuits, which can control the octopus-inspired robots. And we can get human decision involved into the multimodal software robot. So we can, on the right, you can see that human can wave its fingers to control the motion wave and sense the target according to the verbal hint. So if you want more details, please refer to this paper published in 2023. So this is my final slide. I'd like to thank my lab and also thank the people who are involved in my the work presented here today. Thank you very much.
So thanks, Professor Wen, for your very inspiring talk. And now it's time. Any question for talk? Yeah, please.
Thank you, Professor Wen, for your impressive talk. I have a question regarding the methodology. I noticed that there may be two methodologies. One is that you can use one component to do multiple jobs. For example, the drone robot, you can use the propeller both for flying and swimming. And another methodology may be that you can combine multiple different components on one machine and do different actions. For example, the bird-like robot, they use the leg for walking and jumping and use the wings for flying. So regarding these two methodologies, what do you think? Which one is more efficient and maybe promising?
I think this is a really interesting question. I think there are more than two design strategy to make multimodal robots, because the problem for multimodal robots is when you add more locomotions to the single platform, the mass will increase, the power will increase, robustness and stability, everything will become more complicated. How do you solve this problem? I think it's we should repurpose your actuators. Some of them is the same actuator for different locomotions. You can switch back and forth. So I think that's one strategy, like what you mentioned. And also, I think the software material is really interesting because I think this is an interesting morphological, they call this morphological intelligence, which means that even given the same actuation performance, but with different environments, we can generate multimodal locomotion. That's why we released this video by Professor Martin CD. You can see that its actuation is still a very simple wave, but given a tube, it can generate crawling. But when given its a water surface, it can perform like the viscous surface tension locomotion, which means that the environment may also augment the motion. Change the environment, even the same locomotion, you can change the modes of locomotion. And so that's one thing. And so the structural repurposing, softer materials, and I think there's some other approach, which means that you can make multiple reconfigurable robots together so they can form different types of locomotion by using multiple self-assembling robots. So that's another approach. There could possibly be other approaches, but I think the designs are a really important aspect for multimodal robots. But the purpose is to reduce the mass, power, and also increase its robustness.
Thank you for the great answer.
Okay, thank you. One more question? Yeah, please.
So thank you for the great talk. So my question is about the liquid metal sensing circuit. So I would like to ask about, how did you address the stiffness mismatch, between the liquid metal circuits and also the IC components? I saw your device can extend, like stretch and expand.
Yeah, thank you very much for the question. So I think there's an intermediate material between the hard silicones and the very soft substrates, because the stiffness of these two, have 3 orders of magnitude, more. So we have an intermediate material with stiffness locates between these two. So that can solve to prevent the IC components jumping off from the soft substrates. And then we use liquid metal to connect these two because liquid metal is very stretchable. So I think the key answer is design appropriate intermediate structural materials can solve this problem. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so thanks for your talk and your answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
After lunch, we will have half an hour coffee break, and in this period, we'll have a half an hour coffee break, and you can see that poster around our venue, and you are encouraged to discuss with them. But before that, let's take a group photo together, and please sit in your chair and we take a photo. It's fast.